Start working on the author page. Let's import couple of things from React. So we need use state and use effect down. We're going to do some internal import, and here we have to import the packages. So we'll say slash page slash author page. So we're going to import all the component which we have into the author page. So come up here. If you come to the pages component, here you will find the author page folder. Inside that we have all of these components. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to simply copy this entire components, and that's what I'm going to import here. Okay, that's the fastest way to import the component, and I believe that you guys are following this complete playlist, and this will give you amazing learning in web3 space. So make sure to follow each and every lesson we have, and that's why I'm giving so much emphasis in every single functionality, every single component. Okay, so make sure to understand every single thing. So here we have all of the imports. Now we have to import the header, and we have to import the footer, we have to import the copyright, and these all are coming from the components. So we have page components and we have components. We have all of this. Looks pretty fine. We'll come here. We have to do the internal import, the use state context, and we can come here. Here we're going to take a state variable. So it will say is loading. Initially will be false. Then we'll take the use state context. Okay, we have to take this use state, and in that we have to simply take this properties and empty array. Once we have the property, then we have to take another one. This will call author empty array. We'll come here. Here we're going to import all the context function. So we need to import the address, contract, and we can come here in the index file, and from here we need this. So we need this user property function. Copy that one and paste here. So we have all of this thing, and we need one more for the authors, so for all the properties, and here we have that one. So we have all of this imports. Looks pretty fine. Let's come here and let's try to fetch the data. So we'll take a const fetch property, and it's going to be an async function. We have to do the same thing what we have done in the other component. So first we have to turn the loading state, then we have to call the function, and we're going to call the property data. Then we have to call the other one. We'll say data author, and we have to call the get user property function. And once we have this two data, we have to set in our state variable. So we'll set that set author to author data and set property to data. So these are the data, and then we have to simply turn the loading states. So these are the function we have written for the fetch property. Now let's come here, and now we have to run the use effect. The same thing we have to do here. So we'll say if contract exists, then we have to call the function, and if there is any changes in the address and the contract, then we have to simply call this function. Looks pretty good. So that's the fetch. If I do the consoles and show you the properties, so everything's working fine. Save it, and here we have to simply add the classes. So let's add the classes template, color one, and NFT body connect. Inside that we have to import all of the components. So we need header, we need the author one, we need author two, and we have to send a couple of props. So we'd send the address, and we'll also send the author's data. Then we'll take the author 4, and we'll take author 5, and we'll take author footer, and then we'll take copyright. So we have all of these components we have imported, and looks pretty fine. If you come up here in the collections, click on the authors, here we are on the author page, and you can see we have all of these things. Looks pretty good. Let's do the inspect element, and let's check that we have all the data. Here we are. You can see right now we have this 0 array. Okay, something's wrong. We have this 0 array. Why? Okay, so there is something wrong we have in our function. So we are fetching the information, we are trying to rendering that one, but still we are getting this. Here we are calling that. Let's check the author and try to reload the browser. Still we have nothing here. So there's something wrong. This is what we have here. Let's do the console log here and check the data, save it, and we still have nothing here. Okay, so you can see all of this import we have done. This is the use state, this is the context, fetch functions, and this is the use effect. And here if you can see, so what I did, I simply restart my application and everything's working fine. So if it's not working in your end, make sure to restart the application and you can see everything's working fine. So we have the entire piece of code exactly the same. So here we are in the context index and we need this user property function, and that's what we have import here. You can see this is the user property function we have, and I will simply take it and let's call it here. So what I did, I stopped the recording for a while and try to test out that what's went wrong, and I did the basic import. So I imported one more time the get property data, and this time things was working. Okay, so let's call the function once again for the user property function and call it. Once I save it, I'll come here and I have to set the property. So simply I pass the author property here. So we'll say author data, and that will look fine. Simply pass here, copy that one, and you can see here we have the array, and here we have the author property who's listed that property. So it looks pretty good. So we have the data for the author and all the property, and now we can simply render that one. So here we have the components. Now we have to simply send the props. So what I can do is, let's come here and we have to import this author 3 components, and in that we're going to simply pass the properties and author properties. Simply copy that one, go back to the author 2, and in that we have received the address. Come back here now to receive the author. So we have these 2 props in the author 2 component. Come back here now, go to the author 3, click on that and receive the props, and we have to receive the properties for the authors as well in author 3. So here we are in author 2, and now we have to simply display the address of the user. So we'll display the address and we have to slice it down. We don't want to display the entire address, 25. Okay, and remove this icon. This looks fine. You can simply add anything you want, and here we have the followers, but we are not dealing with the followers anymore, so I'll leave it like it. And here we're going to display the property created by author. So we'll say author.length, and it will give us the property, and here we're going to say own property. That's the only thing we have to do, and the rest would be fine. Looks pretty good. If I cut this way, you can see the data is loading. Here we have, and finally the data arrive. 5 property this user have created, and now we have to work on all of these tabs and the property. So we're going to display only 2 tabs, all property and own property. We're not going to display the other one. Simply cut this one, and here we are into the author 3 components, and now here we have to simply do the setups. So we have received the props, and this is one we have. So we're going to rename this to all property, and here we have the own property. Looks fine. And let's comment these 2 one, create and like. Comment this one. So looks pretty good. Now we have these 2 tabs, and that's the only one we have to display. So here we are. Now what we have to do is, so this is the div nav home tab. We'll come here, we'll take a dynamic block, we'll say property, and we'll say map element property I, and we have to do instant return. In that we'll simply close this one, close all of this. Okay, close all of this, and we're going to use the dynamic way of rendering. So close all of this one, close this one, and simply do one thing. Here we are. So what we can do, cut this portion, simply select all of this and comment this and cut this and paste inside that. So it looks pretty fine, and now we have to simply update the data. So we can come up here, we have the property. Here we're going to display the, let's say we can display the address of the user, but I'll try to keep it back, and we can come up here. We have to remove this, and we have to add the detail page URL. So I'll simply remove that one, and we'll take a template tutorial. We'll say detail property, and we have to pass the ID so we can fetch the information. So we'll say ID is going to be property dot property product ID. So we have the product ID, and here we have the image. So we have to display the actual images, property dot image. So that looks fine. Here we have the bedding. So I don't display this, so cut this one, and that looks good. And this is the profile share. So we'll take the dynamic block, and we'll say property dot reviewers mapping element I, and we have to make it instant return, and we're going to render the data who have given the review. So simply cut this portion, close this one, cut this one, and inside paste inside. And here we can display the address of their wallet. So we'll slice it down to 10. That looks good. Let's convert that into a template literal. Convert it and provide this dot 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 1. So here we are, and here we can change the image. We can display the random image. So we can take this one, and we can simply take a dynamic image I+1. So this will different images will display. We can, what we can do, okay, I missed, simply cut. So that's one looks good. Close this, delete this one, and we have this bidding. Take a dynamic block and we'll say property dot review. We'll say length, and if there is a length is 0, in that context what we can do is simply cut this one, and we have to say interested user. So if the length is not 0, then we have to display this. Remove this one, looks pretty good. And this is the button we have. Simply remove this one, remove this one, and here we can display the actual details about the property. So we'll take a dynamic block, cut this one, and inside that we'll take this. So we'll say property dot title length, then we'll say if it's greater than equal to 25. Only in that context we have to display the, not the entire title of the property. This is what we have done so many times. Only 20 looks fine, and else we have to run this property title, and let me provide this one. Looks pretty good. Come here. Here we can display the, so this is the highest. We can change this to category, and we have to display the category of the property. So this will be the category. So we have the category, and now we can display the pricing of the property. So we can come up here and we'll say property dot price, and we have to display the MATI. So this looks pretty good. We can come here and we can display the review length, means interested user. So we'll say property dot reviewers length. Looks good. You can see it's changed. All the images are changed here in all properties, and things are looking pretty good. Things are looking pretty good, but we have some issue in the like, in the interest. There is some issues. So it says length. Let's do the inspect element, and let's try to see what name we have given. So it's part of development. If you encounter any error, that's a normal. So length. So simply come here and paste here. So this will fix the issue. So there was a spelling mistake, and this is one is also good. Okay, so it was a spelling mistake, and now you can see the like and interest are working fine. Looks pretty good. Now we can start working on the own property. So we're going to simply remove all of this hardcode data, and we can come here. This is the one for the own property. So this looks fine. What I can do is I'll take this dynamic block, and I have the data. So I'll say author dot length is equal to 0. Then I have to display the loader component, otherwise I have to display this. So we'll take a loader, and I can simply come up here. I can simply select this one, take a fragment and select this and paste inside that. So this looks good. And now what we can do is we have to simply make the actual data. Take a template URL, and we have to loop it, and we have to simply run a loop, and that will render our component. So paste here, and we have to change this to property. So here we have the images. Remove this one, and we'll do one thing. We'll say come up here. We have already done that one, so let me grab this one. I don't need to write the same thing over and over again. So simply grab this piece of code, and that's what we have to simply paste here. So let's change this to property, and this will become the same thing which we have copied here. Paste it, and this looks good. So we have that one. Now we have this bidding one. So I want to keep it. I'll say update, and I will simply take this one. I will simply paste here, and I have to change this to update page, not detail page. So in this way we can able to render into a detail page. So you can see update. If you click on that, here we are getting the update and property and the ID. So it looks pretty good. So it looks pretty good. Now we can come up here, and now we have to actually feed the actual data. So this is the anchor we have. So we can come here, we can take a dynamic block. We'll say review map. Actually I already have this, so I will simply copy that one, remove this one, and I can come up here in the previous one and I can simply take it from there. So this is the one. I can simply grab this profile and simply come here, minimize this one and replace this, and this looks fine. This will work absolutely fine. And here we have the button, remove this one, and here we have this. So we can come up here, and this is the anchor we have. So what I will do, I'll simply grab this one. So grab this anchor, and that's what we have to simply pass here. So let's this one place here. Looks pretty good. And now we have to simply make the same thing for the others. So this one, take this entire one till here, copy that one, and that's the one we have to replace here. Replace this one. So looks pretty good. And now we have to change the like. So what I will do, simply grab this piece of span code, and that's what we have to simply paste here, and looks pretty good. And these are the other tab data. You can simply feed any other data if you want, but I don't want to do that. So I will simply going to select all of this, the demo one, and replace this. And here we have the other tab. So I will simply comment this one. Looks pretty good. You can see everything is working fine. We can easily able to simply comment this one. Okay, we have this button. If you want to feed other data, you can do that, but I will go with a simple approach. So now what I have to do is I have to feed the actual image. Simply get the image, and that's what I can simply pass here. Okay, my bad. So what I'll do is, let's come up here. Let me grab this entire one. Actually I already did, and here I have to simply replace this one, and that looks fine. Now we will have the actual image. You can see all of the things are working absolutely amazingly. You can click and you can simply update the property. You can see here we are. If I want to update, I will simply give the name. I'll say send was by Bhavan house, paste the address, select the category, and give the text. I will simply copy this one, paste here, give the price, and give the address, copy and paste here, and click on updating. So here it can update the property. It's making the transaction. So here we are, click on confirm, and the transaction went through. Just wait, it's still loading, means the transaction is loading. And here we have the transaction. Come back to the author, and here you can see, here you will find the updated property. So just wait. Here we have the data, and this is the one we have updated. You can see Sanwas Bhavan home. So everything is updated. You can click and you can able to find the details about the property. That looks pretty good. All of this data we have here, you can update everything you can do. So that looks pretty good, pretty damn good. And I hope you guys are learning that how you can actually work around the smart contract and feed the data into the component and make it live. So we are done with this. You can see we are done with this entire one, and it looks absolutely incredible. Now we have to work on the other pages, and now we're going to start working on the activity page. So that's the only thing I want to talk about in this video. Hope you guys have understood that how we have built the entire logic, how we are feeding the data, because these are the things very important, and that will give you a very good understanding how you can work on the front end and when you will get the data from the smart contract. With that, let's move to the next video.